Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Hold on to your butts, Kemosabe. Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as kids and read them as adults and ruin them. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton. With me, as always, is Bekah Eaton.
Hello.
And Chris Zaleski.
Present.
How are the two of you doing?
I'm present.
Good. Excellent. Me too. Joining us today is a special guest, returning guest. I always say returning champion whenever it's someone, just because
I like it. You should.
I'm just going to keep doing it because anytime we ask someone back on, it's because they're great. Kelly Fuller!
Hi.
Hi! How's it going?
Oh, it's living the dream. Nightmares are dreams.
Yeah, technically. I had severe insomnia last night. So this is like, we're recording, it's like on a Sunday night, but I barely slept last night. So it's going to make reading this super extra,
gonna be okay?
extra weird. No. I'm not. Kelly, what was the last thing that we read with you? Do you remember?
Oh my god. It was a Christopher Pike book where
Oh, was it the last one? The
VHS.
Yeah, the
player.
VHS one.
Yeah.
Shit, that was good.
That was a good one.
I only want to read Christopher Pike books.
That one got insane at the end.
Yeah, did you listen to the end of it?
No, I missed out. But I did watch the Midnight Club.
Oh,
series.
that's right. So you know what the deal is.
Yes.
That she's
Yeah.
a fucking robot from the future.
Yeah, he's like going back to take out himself, essentially.
Going back in time to take out her grandfather, with whom she is currently in a romantic relationship with.
Yeah.
And
as
she
a young
justified it by
That's worse.
this isn't my
yeah.
actual body, it's a robot body, so it's totally cool.
man. Yeah, if the robot kissed him.
Oh no.
Second
no.
Christopher
The teenage version of him, not the old man
The teenage version
but
of him.
still,
Still.
it's gross.
Really
second
went out of your
Christopher
way to
Pike book.
justify that, Mr. Pike.
Second Christopher Pike book we've read, the second one with incest, 2 for 2.
Oh, Jesus. I could tell that there was some sort of fuckery that Netflix was not sharing with us watching
Yeah,
Midnight
we haven't
Club.
watched it. I was wondering if
Yeah.
they included that, and I can't imagine
That story
they would have.
is there, but there's no incest. It's a male protagonist, and he ends up he's himself. It's like going back in time to stop himself.
Oh, he's himself. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very different.
That is very different, yeah.
That would have been a lot more palatable.
Yeah,
Do
for
you
sure.
think the Midnight Club writer's room just has like a large, like, no incest written on the whiteboard?
It's just incest with like a circle and a slash through it. And they're like, we got to keep this in mind every time we read one of these books from 1992, apparently.
Wild 90s.
Well, let me share my screen and reveal to you what horror you are helping us read today.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going in blind. I have no idea. Oh, no. Animorphs covers just haunt my dreams forever and always.
We are continuing to read Animorphs, The Visitor. Apparently the second book in the Animorph series. We didn't do that on purpose. We just picked a random one. Look at that. Look at that.
That's horrifying.
Look at
It
that
looks
middle
like
face.
male pattern baldness, like at the top.
Yeah.
That's just.
It does.
I think I find in this one, I think the second to last is the truly horrifying one for me. This one right here.
It's
Those
not
are still
great.
very human eyes.
Yeah.
This one right here with the ears that are slowly becoming cat ears.
Oh,
Oh
God.
yeah. Oh god.
Upsetting. Luckily,
That's
we
very
can't see most of
upsetting.
her face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say you can't. That's like some Ark of the Covenant thing. If you saw more of her face, you'd just melt.
You can't see her top lip starting to separate.
Oh man, I hope there's more onomatopoeia describing what it sounds like when they
my
transform in this one.
Oh my god.
Me too. Just like schlork and stuff like that.
As I slurped my tusks back into my face.
This is so dumb. I was in onomatopoeia for Halloween like a million years ago, and I just wore like a big like comic book like shaped sign, and it said like Zap or something. I don't know.
That's adorable.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
We're fans of that.
Thank you.
Do you know what chapter we were on?
Yeah. We read chapters 1 through 5 last time.
Okay.
So we're starting at chapter 6. I just got to find it. It didn't keep my place.
I just saw
Should
the
have done
word
this
pizza.
before.
Ugh. Pizza.
Wait,
I
right?
don't remember pizza.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Kelly, to catch you and the listener up, we're reading Animorphs
Hold
the
on.
Visitor.
You have to scroll up or I'll read ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stop myself.
So the main character of this one is Rachel. Again, funny enough, forever ago when we read a different Animorphs book, the main character was also Rachel. We just happened to pick
Okay.
a second Rachel book.
I was gonna say, hold on. On the phone.
The Animorphs are Rachel, Marco, Jake, Cassie, and Tobias. Rachel is our narrator. Marco is like a pompous ass. Jake is, I wrote down, he's a real cop. Like, he's just, I think, a straight shooting guy.
Yeah.
Cassie is like the fashionista. And then Tobias is a falcon.
Tobias is the one that's stuck as a falcon.
Yeah.
He can't become a real boy again.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you're an Animorph and you morph into animal
like
form
2
for
hours or something?
over 2 hours, you get stuck in that forever.
Yeah.
So they got to keep their morphs under 2 hours.
Wow.
So far in this one, there has been an absolutely insane amount of exposition of what happened in the previous book that, like, I can't even, it doesn't matter. I can't start to unravel it and the different kinds of aliens and their names and shit. We picked up with our Animorphs. They're all birds of different kind, and they were riding the thermals. The first chapter was just them flying. Just like, I love riding thermals. And then they start getting shot at by some drunk teens. So then they fly down to the drunk teens. They stole the gun and, like, dropped it in the ocean.
Yeah.
And then they morphed back. And there's some talk about Rachel's friend. I can't remember her friend's name. She's got a friend at school who's not an Animorph. Her friend's dad is a controller, and a controller is a human that's been taken over by a yerk. So they look like
That's a
humans, but
word.
they've got like a worm in their brain.
They got brain slugs.
They got brain slugs. So
Okay.
I think they're trying to figure out like how to get like close to her dad to like find out information or something like that. But like she's had a real falling out with her friend. Her friend doesn't want to hang out anymore. And then Rachel's trying to like figure that out. And then Rachel is walking home alone from the mall and gets basically assaulted. Like a guy just
Yeah. Some guy was being real creepy.
being a
and
real
awful.
creepo. So she starts to turn into an elephant and scares the absolute piss out of him. And at that moment, her friend and her dad, her friend's dad, pull up in a car, and they're like, "Hey, do you need a ride home?" So she's like, "Oh no, did he see me morph into an elephant? I don't know." And then where we last left was Rachel remembered that her friend. Does it say her friend's name up here?
Melissa?
Melissa. Okay.
Melissa.
Melissa. Her friend Melissa, she remembers, has a cat. So I think that's the whole... I think she's going to morph into this girl's cat. Which is really, like... We haven't even gotten into that, but, like...
It's only 5 chapters.
That'll get fucked up to, like, pretend to be your friend's pet.
Well, and this is also what I don't understand about their morphing.
Mm-hmm.
Do they become a specific animal that they already see in the world, or do they have...
Yeah.
Like, do they have to see an eagle and then become that particular eagle, or can they just be like, I'm an eagle?
They have
They
to
have
have
to touch
touched
it.
the animal.
I know.
Yeah.
But are they that animal?
Oh,
Or are
oh.
they just some copy of that animal?
I think they're a copy. I
so
think
there's going to be 2 cats?
So there'll be 2 cats.
Does she have to hide the other cat?
Probably, yeah. Like hog tied the cat somewhere
Oh, God.
with like a little bandana over its mouth.
No.
Oh no.
Bandana.
Or like the real cat walks in, but then her as the cat's in the middle of playing Johnny Be Good, and then hijinks ensue because there's
And
two
like
of them.
there's 2 cats, and one of them's like, "Shoot her! I'm the real cat."
Listen, Chuck, you're gonna want to hear this.
You know that new sound you've been looking for?
It's
Listen
your
to
cousin,
Meow,
Marvin.
meow, meow, meow,
Marvin
meow,
Animorph.
Chapter 6. Look, a kitty door, Jake pointed. Where? Marco asked. See the lines of light at the bottom of the regular door? Oh yeah, Marco said. I wish the moon were out. I can't see a thing.
What?
The four of us were cowering behind a hedge, cowering like cowards, behind a hedge that bordered the Chapman's house lawn. They lived in a pretty normal-looking suburban home. 2 stories, a garage, a lawn, the type of thing that you could afford with one single full-time job in, like, the 80s. Nothing to make you think that the person who lived there was part of a huge alien conspiracy to take over the world. How do I whisper? It's Marco. Let me just ask you this, Marco whispered. Why did it have to be Chapman? I was afraid of Chapman even before we found out he was a controller.
I don't remember. Is he like the principal or something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He is. He's like the principal or the superintendent or some shit.
Okay.
He works at their school.
You're not still upset over that detention he gave you? I asked.
What if Pancakes was an Animorph?
I know. She's being a real fucking yerk right now. All right. That sound is happening.
Jesus Christ.
I don't hear it.
I don't either.
You will on the fucking final mix.
Look, if you're going to listen to your CD player in math class with an earphone hidden under your hair, you have to remember not to start singing along. Yeah, that was only slightly stupid, Marco, Jake agreed. I still say Chapman never would have given me a whole week's attention if he was totally human. I have a question, Cassie said. How do we get Melissa's cat to come outside? We all looked at her. Good question, I admitted. I mean, we could hide here in the bushes for a long time, but sooner or later the neighbors are going to notice.
Yeah.
What does the cat look like? I don't know what voice you do for Tobias. Tobias was sitting perched on a nearby tree branch. He was close enough to hear us. I tried to remember. Its name is Fluffer. I remembered that much.
Fluffer?
Fluffer McKitty.
What?
You've got to be kidding.
Bodie McBoatface.
Marco, of course. I tried to remember back when I used to hang out with Melissa. It's black and white, in patches, which doesn't look at all like the cat on the cover. That sounds like Alfie.
Yeah. That sounds like a real piebald.
Yeah.
I had to remember when I changed into him to speak with a Scottish accent, seeing as how he was a McKitty. I'll look around. Maybe it's already outside. Tobias spread his wings.
For a second, you sounded like Jason Statham.
I was getting a Nick Cage.
Okay.
Maybe it's already outside. You took my hand.
I'm more of a shaman. Tobias spread his wings, swooped silently down over our heads, and flapped away into the night. You know what we need, I said? We need another kitty. We should have thought of that. Then we could have the second cat call out to Fluffer.
Do you understand cats at all? Just get cat treats. Cats don't like other cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not like, ooh, a friend.
Yeah.
That's a dog thing.
Yeah.
Marco turned to stare at me. Meow, Fluffer. Come out, meow. Meow, come and play, meow.
Is he playing the game from Super Troopers?
Tobias morphed a cat very early on, didn't he? I asked. Yeah, Jake said. His first morph. The first morph any of us did.
What if that was the one that he got stuck in?
Rachel, you need to remember if you go in there tonight that you have to stay in cat character, Cassie said. Most people would just think it was weird if a cat acted strangely, but Chapman may be able to guess what's going on if Fluffer suddenly starts acting un-cat-like. So you're saying I shouldn't try eating with a fork or changing the channels on the TV? You dumb bitch. Everyone laughed, quietly and nervously.
The great thing about cats is that they act fucking crazy all the time.
That's true.
So there's really not that much they could do that you'd be like, oh, that's a human.
Yeah.
That's abnormal.
If any of our cats started acting unusual, it would just be like, well, it's that time of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they're crazy now in this different way.
Yeah.
Everyone laughed, quietly and nervously, but it was laughter just the same. Suddenly, Tobias dropped out of the sky, then drifted over us in a lazy circle and called down. Got him. He settled back on the branch. He was really an amazing animal when you just looked at him as a bird and didn't think about him being a boy trapped in there. I did not ad-lib that.
Oh,
No.
I don't know what to pull from that, but okay.
Can I ask why you guys are pronouncing it Chapman? Just for
Funny.
funsies?
Because
This
it's
is funny.
okay.
It comes naturally.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was like, hey,
like
that's
whenever-
funny. But, you
Whenever
know.
we have any character
There's
whose
no
last
real
name
reason.
ends with MAN, it's always whatever man.
Okay,
So we did that
all
with
right.
St. Valley High with Bruce Patman.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Pat-Man.
god. Amazing. All right. I mean, the gaze of a hawk when it is looking right at you is incredibly intimidating. Gentle Tobias now had an expression that looked totally ferocious.
She is into that hawk.
She's
I was going to say this feels sexual.
gonna write the first ever Hawk fanfic. What is
No,
that?
it probably exists.
That
It
definitely
probably
exists already. Everything exists already.
Yeah.
That's true.
Unfortunately,
there's
Becca
some
and I
hawk-
have found a lot of the
Yeah.
worst things you could possibly read.
There's definitely some hawk shifter romance out there.
Hawk shifter. After this, there was.
You're kidding. You found Fluffer? I asked. Hey, it's easy. Spawning prey is what I do, or what a hawk does anyway. Anyway, there are maybe 6 or 8 cats running around the neighborhood. Also 3 dogs and an amazing amount of rats and mice.
An amazing amount of rats and mice.
A truly staggering amount of rats and mice.
Rats? That got Marco's attention. Rats? Here? This is suburbia. I mean, it's a lot better than where I live. They have rats. There are
Marco.
rats everywhere, Tobias said. Rats and mice and all kinds of plump, juicy. He fell silent, embarrassed.
Aroused.
Get a grip, Tobias. Get a grip, Tobias, Marco said. Don't start eating rats, all right? I don't know if I can have someone who eats rats for a friend. Sometimes Marcos is funny. Sometimes he goes too far. This was one of those times. Was it? Shut up, Marco, I growled. I ate a live spider, Jake pointed out. Does that mean you and I can't be friends?
I mean, I don't love that.
Jake, we might have to reevaluate our friendship.
My aunt made me let an ant crawl down her tongue.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. The internet didn't exist.
From his
Like,
tone
this
of
is
voice.
all we had. We just had to eat bugs.
All we had, yeah.
Oh no. Oh. From his tone of voice, I could tell he was angry too. None of us knew what Tobias was going through. None of us had ever been in Morph for more than 2 hours.
Tobias had been a hawk for more than a week. It's only been a week since he's been a hawk?
Well, this is only the second book.
Yeah. Marco realized he'd been a jerk, which was unusual for Marco. Well, yeah, I guess you're right, he muttered. Besides, I've been known to eat eggplant, so I guess I can't criticize.
I mean, I don't like eggplant, but it's not quite the
Me
same.
neither, but it's a food.
Hey, you know what? I got a laugh from Chris. I've been
wrote
known
that
to
was
eat
like-
aubergine.
This shit's gold.
Oh my god, that was an apology, or as close as Marco could get to an actual apology. The piece of shit. The cat we're looking for is just a half block away, Tobias said. Follow me. He flew off.
Leading into the cage.
Oh hell
Yes.
yeah! He flew off,
I
but kept low.
decree it.
We took off after him. Even flying at minimum speed, Tobias was too fast for us to keep up with, so he had to circle back again and again. We had a hard time keeping him in sight. This doesn't look too strange, Cassie joked, the 4 of us running down the street, looking up in the sky. There, Tobias called down. See that yard with the 2 trees? No, which one? Every yard has trees, Tobias. Yeah, just to our left. That's the one. The cat you're looking for is stalking a mouse right behind the trunk of the nearest tree. Okay, we can't all go traipsing over some stranger's yard, I pointed out. I'll go with Cassie. Marco held up the kitty carrier we had brought along. Don't you need this?
Not yet. I'll grab Fluffer and bring him back over here. You know how cats love to be picked up. You two guys
famously.
just stand there looking casual. Cassie and I stepped onto the lawn. The house was dark. Maybe no one was home. That would be good. Go left, I suggested to Cassie. We circled the tree. Hey, Fluffer, I said in a high, talking to animals voice. Here, kitty, kitty, remember
girl.
me? Hey, girl. There he is. I see him. I squatted down and held my hand out toward the cat. Hey, Fluffer, Fluffer, it's me, Rachel. You know me by name. Because cats know that
Yeah.
stuff. Fluffer flattened his ears back along his skull. He looked from me to Cassie and back again. Come on, Fluffer, it's me. Come on, boy. He's a male? He's a tomcat? Cassie asked. Yeah, I think so.
What?
Oh, wonderful, Cassie moaned. Oh, wonderful, Cassie moaned. Please tell me he's been fixed at least. Have you been fixed, Fluffer McKitty? I cooed.
What?
Why do we care?
The fuck?
I asked Cassie. Because pound for pound, a tomcat is like one of the toughest, most dangerous little things around. Is she thinking of like a wild...
What?
Like,
Yeah.
what are those cats like up
The
north?
servals? Oh, wait, no.
Not servals.
Bobcat.
Yeah, like a bobcat.
Yeah.
He's not like a
Like a
bobcat.
cougar.
He's just a...
It's a house cat.
He's just like a, domestic house cat. Fluffer, my little kitty friend Fluffer. Even if he is fixed, a male cat out at night in hunting mode? Cassie shook her head. We should have worn gloves. I
What?
mean, honestly, cats that aren't fixed can be really dangerous
Yeah.
because they get fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I would assume, I don't know. I don't know what things were like in the 90s, but
All I
Bob
can-
Barker told us to get that shit taken care of.
Yeah.
And we all listened.
We all listen. All I'm thinking of is like how weird it would be as a girl, a human female, to then like transform into a male cat.
Why would that be weird?
Because then you get like a little cat dick.
Wouldn't that be weird for you as a human to have a cat dick? Wouldn't that still be weird?
It would still definitely be weird, but I'm like, well, I've got one, used one, used them all, probably. I don't
Or
know.
like if she's like ovulating and then turns into a female cat, does that mean she's like in heat
And then she's like, ow!
and does a lot of like
Sticking her butt up in the air. Good
Anyway.
question. These are all great questions.
These are great
I bet
questions, and I
Animorphs-
have nothing else.
I bet
to
these
offer.
books
I
definitely
will
answer
see
them.
myself out. Good night, everybody.
Oh, come on. He's a sweet kitty cat. To demonstrate just how sweet Fluffer was, I reached a hand for him. In a movement too fast for my human eyes to see, Fluffer swiped out with one paw.
Did you make a
3.
hiss sound? I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I think Zoom just muted
Yeah,
it.
we'll fix it in post.
Okay.
3 bloody scratches appeared on the back of my hand, and Fluffer shot straight up the tree. Ow! I stuck my injured hand in my mouth. Gloves would definitely have been a good idea, Cassie said.
Do you know how unhygienic
Fuck
that
off,
is?
Cassie.
Cats'
How are you
scratches
guys doing?
are so full of fucking bacteria.
Cat venom.
I would never. But like even our cats who don't go outside, I wouldn't stick it in my mouth. I run that shit underwater.
Yeah. I don't think she understands cats even a little bit. Based on
How
what
are you
she
gonna
does as
do
a
Animorph?
chapter. I know.
Jake whispered, just loudly enough for me to hear him. Wonderful, I said through gritted teeth. I'm bleeding and Fluffer is up the tree. I heard Marco giggle. I expected that, but then I heard Jake giggling too. Then I burped. I looked up and saw 2 glittering yellow-green eyes glaring down from the dark tree. This was supposed to be the easy part, I said. I figured, okay, we go and acquire Fluffer's DNA, and then the hard stuff begins. We have a cat up a tree, Cassie said dolefully. You know how hard it is to get a cat down out of a tree?
Rachel starts
No,
climbing a tree
Cassie.
and it's just like, come out to the coast, have a couple of laughs.
I have a plan, I said. Tobias, are you up there? Right above you, but I'm not going to try and snatch an angry tomcat down out of a tree. That's not what I was going to ask, I said. I took a deep breath. This night was turning weird real fast. What I need is a mouse.
Oh shit! All right, you do this next one also.
Gotcha. Chapter 7. Got something for you. A baby mouse. A mean baby mouse. Keeps trying to bite me. Tobias flew in a low,
wants to
tight
live.
circle overhead, disappearing behind the tree branches, then reappearing. Are you ready?
I thought one of them was gonna turn into a mouse.
I guess
And,
there's
like,
the
his bait.
potential that
Yeah.
the cat might eat the mouse, and they don't want a friend to get eaten.
I guess.
Why didn't they just bring food? Bring a can of wet food.
Right.
Yeah.
Cats will fucking do anything for wet food.
It's also weird how much they're like a tomcat.
Yeah.
I've never thought that in my
Like
life
he
ever.
turns into a cougar.
Yeah.
Lest we forget, they're children, and children are historically dumb as shit.
Stupid
True.
children.
Yes.
I took a deep breath. I gave him a wave. Sure, I was ready. Why wouldn't I be ready to have a hawk hand me a mouse? Just your normal kind of thing to deal with. Tobias flew low and slow. I held out my hands, cupped together. With amazing precision and perfect timing, he deposited the mouse in my hands. Don't let it bite you, Cassie warned. Rabies.
How could you possibly prevent that?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Just hold his little tiny mouth shut?
Oh no!
Oh my God.
That's so upsetting.
Wonderful, I muttered. Just one more fun aspect of this night. Actually, I was glad for the warning. The mouse was squirming in terror, trying to get away. It had no fucking idea what was going on right now. I could feel its tiny little mouse legs scrabbling against my palms. You should all get rabies shots, Cassie said. Seriously, I already have mine, but if we're going to be handling wild animals, in the meantime, be careful to keep his teeth away from you. I wasn't planning on feeding him my finger, you fucking bitch, I said.
Oh, yeah, you can't stop a mouse from biting you if it's in your hands. They're
It's
just
cupped
gonna
in your
do what they
hands. It's
want.
gonna just grab onto some flesh.
Also,
Hey,
why does she have
wait.
a rabies shot?
Her mom's a vet or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Like she lives on
Yeah.
a farm and her mom's a vet.
Okay.
It was
Runs
like,
like
a,
an animal rescue, and that's how they got
Yeah.
all their forms.
It was a real like backdoor way for them to like be able to touch a bunch of weird fucking animals.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, wait. Cassie pried open my hands to get a better look. That's not a mouse. That's a shrew.
What difference does it
See
make?
the eyes? They're too small. And the tail is wrong. That's not a baby mouse, Tobias. It's a full-grown shrew. Sorry. Is that bad? Cassie shrugged. I don't know. I just know it isn't a mouse.
Oh my god.
Wait a minute, Marco said, beginning to grin. Rachel is going to become a shrew. How will we know when she's changed? How do you become what you already are? Everyone was too nervous to find the joke very funny.
Also, it wasn't funny.
We felt
That's
kind of stupid.
very sexist.
I was really expecting him to be like, is she going to tame it?
He grows up to become a
That's
stand-up comedian.
That's
who
too
just,
highbrow
would've
for
been good.
Marco.
Too high, yeah. He's never
He
read a
can
book.
punch down on women, but he doesn't know Shakespeare.
Yeah, exactly.
He grows up to be a stand-up who just constantly goes like, "Oh man, being married's terrible."
Yeah. Take my wife,
Take my wife, please.
Jesus! Fuck. Everyone was too nervous to find the joke very funny, except for us. We felt kind of stupid standing around on some stranger's lawn playing with rodents. This is unrealistic. If this was actually suburbia, every neighbor would be looking out the window with binoculars and calling each other and or the police.
I was going to say the cops definitely would have rolled up.
Those
Yeah.
kids that can't tell the difference between a mouse and a shrew are back, Harold.
There were like two teens
Told
and
you,
a
I
child
don't care.
that were just hanging out in the street in front of our house the other night, and we both just like sat there and stared at them for like 20 minutes. Like, what are you doing?
Peeping.
Just peeping on.
It's a dead end. It's creepy when people are there that
Well, yeah.
we don't know.
I mean, like, yeah, historically people have come down here to like fuck and sell drugs and shit. But it's just,
And
I mean, like,
steal cars.
yeah. Even when someone just like walks their dog down the street, though, I'm just like, what are you fucking doing?
I
Steal
like the
cards,
dogs. I just
dang.
like to watch the dog. I think somebody had stolen a car and left it.
Oh,
So there was a
yes.
car that had no tags there for a while. And then I think people came to retrieve the stolen car, but they couldn't get it started. So that was
Oh,
a fun
man.
night.
That was fun, yeah.
That was a fun night of peeping out the window.
It's a good night of suburban peeping.
I was going to say, that was good TV watching for you guys.
Yeah.
As long as your
Suburban
stuff wasn't getting stolen.
Yeah.
Thursdays at 9.
I mean, there are times when this whole thing just seems so utterly insane, you know? Yeah, Rachel,
Yeah.
yes.
All of it is insane. Always.
You're fighting alien
Core
slugs.
concept.
Core
Yeah.
concept.
Okay, I have to concentrate on acquiring, so everyone shut up. Acquiring is what we call it when we absorb a sample of the animal's DNA. The DNA is the stuff inside the cells that sort of serves like a how-to manual for making the animal. Wow.
Fun
So it's
and educational.
It's really, the easiest way to do it is just like, you gotta French kiss them.
Gotta French kiss that true.
French kiss.
When you acquire, you have to think hard about the animal, focusing on it and blocking everything else out. Then the animal kind of goes limp, like it's in a trance. It takes just about a minute. It was easy to focus on the shrew, what with it squealing in terror and squirming to get out of my hand. But it was gross, definitely gross. I know there's nothing really wrong with shrews, but still, they freak me out a little. I don't know what a shrew is, I don't think.
They
Type of
basically just look
rodent.
like mice. Yeah, it's a little rodent.
Okay.
They've got, I think, like weirder heads than mice.
Okay.
I'll look one up. We'll figure it out.
Okay. When I was done, I opened my eyes. Okay, little shrew, thanks for your help. You can go now. Oh, that's cute. I'm not really sure
You're
this
welcome, madam.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
Me.
They look like mice, but with like a elongated nose.
Oh, yeah, look.
Oh my
They're
god, it's so cute. They've got like little long snouts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love them.
Yeah, look at
So
them.
much cuter than a mouse.
Oh,
I love him. Oh, I love him. I'm not sure this is a good idea, Jake said doubtfully. Really? Marco was sarcastic. You're not sure it's a good idea for Rachel to turn into a shrew in order to lure a vicious cat down from a tree so she can morph into that cat and sneak into the assistant principal's house? What worries you about that plan? I don't like Marco.
Thanks for catching us up. Yeah.
Right, yeah, thanks for the exposition of 2 pages before.
Yeah.
Kind of helpful for this podcast because we go on these long tangents and we
For
lose
this
the plot.
podcast.
it did fill in some
Specifically,
things for me
yeah.
personally, but I'm
Marco's kind
sure.
of doing the Lord's work here.
That's amazing.
Marco's the best producer this podcast has ever had.
Have you guys been noticing in the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember from the books the little flip book thingy? She's gotten to the point now where she's got like a little tail coming out of her butt,
Oh my
and I
God.
don't love that.
Ooh,
No.
that's bad.
Turd.
That's bad.
Let's
Just
go
the
with
tail
vertical.
shooting,
It's a
shooting
vertiturd.
straight up.
It's like a backwards boner.
Cassie
Called a
looked worried
hind dick,
too.
okay?
Oh, okay.
You
I thought it
know,
was called a dick butt. Sorry, go on.
anymore,
No, I don't think so.
Chris?
I'm done.
Okay.
Kelly, you
For
got one?
now.
Cassie looked worried too. You know, Rachel, usually a cat will play with a mouse a little bit.
But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they go right for the neck bite. The mouse or the shrew dies instantly. Be careful, Rachel, Tobias said. I'll be watching, but be careful. I don't want anything to happen to you. He said it so only I could hear. I could tell because nobody else reacted. For the listener at home, when they're in animal form, they speak telepathically. I looked up at Tobias and winked. I knew he would see it. I rubbed my hands together. Okay, let's do this. I concentrated once more on the shrew. The shrew was now a part of me. I don't know how it works, but it does.
Good explanation.
Science.
That's
Somehow.
writing.
Say.
Yeah.
Somehow, thanks to the Andalite technology, the DNA of that shrew was stored away inside me. It was like having a map to guide me as I transformed. Not that I had a clue how I was able to do it, even though you just explained it pretty damn well. The first sensation was of shrinking. It's a long, long trip down from being 5 feet tall to being less than an inch tall. It's like falling, except that you can feel the ground under your feet the whole time. 1 minute, I was looking Jake and Marco and Cassie in the face. Excuse me, then I burped. The next minute, their faces seemed to be zooming high above me. I was falling down the length of their bodies. It was like they were huge skyscrapers and I had jumped off the roof or something.
My outer clothing fell around me like a big collapsing circus tent. Kinky.
My inner
What
clothing
about
stayed
your
on.
inner-
Remember in the they have a weird explanation, like they can keep spandex on, basically.
Oh yeah, so they're not naked
so that
children.
so that they're
thank
not
God.
so that they're not naked like teens.
Thank God. It made a slight grinding noise as my backbone collapsed into a size smaller than my little finger.
Ew.
There was the disturbing, not quite pain sensation that goes along with some morphs. Like you knew it should hurt, but it didn't quite. I could feel the tail sprout from my tailbone. A long, hairless tail. Not at all attractive. Because that's what we're worried about right now.
Right, ladies?
Priorities.
My legs practically disappeared. They were so small. I was a chubby little ball of fur, no more than 2 inches long, with 4 tiny feet. Then the fear kicked in. The shrew's fear. It hit me so hard I began to shake. I rattled with terror. I quaked with terror. Couldn't have used a different word. I was surrounded. Predators everywhere. I could smell them. I could see them. Huge, looming, slow-moving creatures standing over me.
Wow.
Rachel?
Existence is a nightmare for shrews.
Yeah.
My God, I
Life
love
is a fucking
shrews.
nightmare.
I love them so much.
Bekah's just looking at pictures of shrews now.
They're so cute.
They're so fucking cute. It's insane.
And they're tiny. They're so tiny.
Rachel,
Where do they live?
you okay down there? It was Cassie. She lifted the folds of my clothing off of me. I heard the voice and sort of understood it, but it was more like distant thunder. It didn't really mean anything, at least not to the shrew. It was looking for a way out. Its brain might have been terrified, but it was also amazingly smart. It was evaluating every possible escape route. It was measuring the distance between the 3 sets of legs. One set of legs moved slightly. I was off like a shot.
Running! Blades of grass seemed 6 feet tall. Twigs were like fallen trees that I had to scramble over. My little feet moved with incredible speed. I scooted past a beetle that seemed to me to be as big as a dog. Rachel, you have to get control. I knew they were right. I even sort of understood what they meant, but the terror was so strong. The urge to survive was so powerful. And at the same time, there were other feelings. Hunger. I smelled nuts.
Gross.
I smelled dead flesh.
Ew.
I even smelled the maggots squirming on the dead flesh.
Why are these books so gross?
And I wanted them. Ooh, I know it's too gross, but I wanted to eat those maggots. Ooh, I wanted to get those maggots in my mouth.
Nom, 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 nom.
No, I want to give me those maggots. Heavy pounding footsteps behind me. I turned sharply and ducked under a bush. The steps went barreling by before stopping and turning back towards me. They were faster than I was, but not as agile. I could get away. And find that dead smell and gorge on maggots. Rachel, it's Tobias. The shrew is in control. You have to assert yourself. Tell it to stop running. Tame the shrew. Fear, hunger. Rachel, listen to me. You're getting away from us. You have to take charge.
Oh my god. Fear, hunger, run! Grass and twigs and dirt. Low, scratchy branches over my head. The smell of food. The smell of a dog that had urinated on this bush. More loud footsteps and far-off rumbling voices yelling. They were trying to catch me, but I was fast. I was clever. But not clever enough. I ran out from under the bush. Like a shadow inside of a shadow, I felt it descend on me. Terror like nothing I'd felt before swept over me. Something deep, deep inside my shrew brain cried out. It was the ultimate fear, the ultimate horror. It was the enemy I could not defeat, and it was coming for me.
Good God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Was it the eternal enemy?
Oh, no. Chapter 8.
Existential meltdown.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I dodged, but too slowly.
Sorry.
That's okay. I dodged, but too slowly. Huge talons closed around me, and suddenly my little feet were running in the air. Okay, Rachel, it's okay. It's just me. I have you. The voice was in my head. I understood the words. It cut through the terror at last. I held on to that voice.
What if Tobias is like
Rachel.
Hawk Brain took over and is like, eat the shrew,
Yeah.
eat the shrew.
Eat the shrew.
He's literally in the body of the shrew's predator.
Yeah. I looked down, and with my dim shrew eyesight, I saw the shadows shooting past down below. I have you, Rachel. Try to be calm. Think about something human. Think about school. Remember school? Just being a shrew and trying to remember school, it feels like it would explode your brain.
Oh my god. I had a stroke and died instantly.
Blood
School?
came out of my shrew nose.
My shrew blood. School? Yes, I remembered school. Quite suddenly, the shrew mind lost the battle for control. It was like a switch. A shrew switch had been flipped. I was in shrew charge. I shrew what I was. I shrew
no.
who I was. I'm okay,
Fuck.
Tobias, I said telepathically. You can set me down. He circled around and landed with perfect gentleness on the ground.
Are shrews Smurfs?
The Shrewniverse. Do my talons hurt you? No, I don't think so. I'm fine. You okay, Rachel? Jake's voice said. Yes, boy, that was totally different than the elephant brain, or the eagle. They're both so calm and mellow compared to this mind. It's like Jake's lizard, Cassie suggested. He had a panic reaction too. The other animals we morphed were all kind of big, dominant animals. Gorilla, tiger. My horse was skittish, though. Look, Let's just do this and get it over with, okay? I said. I'm not enjoying the shrew experience. That was the understatement of all
True
time.
experience.
I'm going to go to the Shrew Experience in Vegas.
That was the understatement of all time. I could still smell death and hear the thousands of feasting maggots. And to me, those things still meant dinner. I was horribly hungry.
Do shrews eat maggots?
Probably.
I can only assume
Yes.
they've done the best
Man.
research for this book.
That's, scientifically accurate.
Are you sure you're going to be able to maintain down there? Marco asked. I saw him peering down at me from a million miles up.
You still look a little nervous. Your tail is twitching and your nose is sniffing like crazy. Yeah, I know. I'm still nervous. Let's just do this. You'll have to take me back to the tree where Fluffer is. I don't know what direction it is. Before I could object, Marco reached down and scooped me into his hands. He held me up and looked into my eyes. I've never seen you look lovelier, Rachel. Very cover girl. We walked down the block. Marco set me down at the bottom of the tree where Fluffer was still hiding out on a high branch. You guys had better back off a little, I said. Not too far, Jake said. We still have to be able to get between you and Fluffer fast. Oh, I can kick Fluffer's butt, I said, joking. I guess I felt a little embarrassed about having let the shrew take control of me. Uh-huh, Marco said dryly. Cat versus mouse. Who would you bet on? Haven't you ever seen Itchy and Scratchy? Cassie asked. Mouse,
Topical.
definitely. Besides, she's not a mouse. I don't believe Cassie's watched The Simpsons.
No, definitely not.
Like, why wouldn't you just do a Tom and Jerry reference?
Yeah, Tom
That's
and
still
Jerry. That's
universal.
right there.
Topical. Because what is this, like 91? Simpsons, man.
Ugh. Let me tell you something. It is no fun sitting around in a shrew's tiny body waiting to see whether a huge cat is going to decide to climb down and kill you. It is one of the least fun things I've ever done. I had the shrew brain under control, but that didn't change the fact that the shrew was about as scared as a shrew can be.
Between being snatched up by a hawk and now waiting to see if the shrew's other deadly enemy was going to attack, I mean, the shrew was definitely in a state of panic. She was not a happy shrew.
Drink every time they say shrew.
Shrew.
No, no.
I don't
was
have
so-
that much beer.
I was so preoccupied thinking about the shrew's hunger that I missed what happened next. I didn't even notice until I heard the sound of scraping tree bark just an inch over my head. Fluffer was dropping through the air right on top of me. I froze! Jake and Marco did not freeze. Marco grabbed Fluffer in mid-pounce. Jesus. Fluffer rewarded him with a nasty slash of his claws. Marco yelled and almost dropped the cat. Jake grabbed Fluffer by the nape of the neck, and Cassie ran up with the animal carrier.
It's called scruff.
The three of them managed to stuff the squalling, hissing, slashing Fluffer into the carrier and close the door. I was already morphing out of the shrew body as fast as I could. I'm bleeding! Marco cried.
Cat scratch fever.
We're all bleeding, Cassie said matter-of-factly. I told you guys, kitties can be nasty when you get on their nerves.
I was shooting up from the ground, regaining my normal
Shrooting up?
body. I was shrooting up from the ground. Ugh, I'm never doing that morph again, I said as soon as I had a normal tongue and lips. I looked over my shoulder to make sure I still didn't have that creepy tail. Nothing. I was me again. I was in my morphing outfit and with no shoes on, but I was human again. I shuddered. The memory of the shrew's brain and its fear and hunger made my flesh creep. I was fighting a powerful urge to throw up. I felt sick in a way that is mostly in your head. Jake looked at me and shook his head. I should have done it. I should have used my lizard morph to lure the cat down from the tree. I shook my head. No, that freaked you out. And now you're the one who's freaked out, Jake said. But don't worry, you'll get over it. Mostly. At least you didn't eat a spider. So did he eat a spider as a lizard, or did he eat a spider as a child?
He made it
Like a
sound like
human
it was
person.
voluntary and fun.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he was a lizard and his lizard brain took over and was like, spider! And then later he was just like, guys,
Yeah.
I ate a spider.
Yeah,
It was
look,
full of babies.
oh, gross. Yeah, look, I'm just tired, okay? Let me acquire this pain-in-the-butt cat and get on with this. So what is she gonna do, stick her hand in that angry cat's carrier
Yeah,
and just
sounds
get
like it.
shredded to death? Okay. Are you still up for it? Cassie asked. Acquiring 2 new morphs in one night? I shouldn't have let you do the mouse. Shrew. Whatever, Jake said.
Jake,
He was still looking guilty.
Stop white knighting this.
Look, it was my idea, right? Besides, since when do you let me do things? What are you, my master? I don't think so. Come on.
You go, girl.
I squared my
Yes.
shoulders and put on a brave smile. But it would have been so much easier if he was just a fucking lizard. A cat would love to chase a lizard.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a technical question.
Yes.
So, like,
I'd
he
love to
turned
answer
into
it
a
for you.
lizard. He ate a spider.
Yeah.
So, like, when he turns back into human form, does, like, what
some-
he ate maintain the size of what he ate? Or does it, like, does the poop go to human proportions? Or does he, like, poop out a little spider later on?
I
So-
don't understand the question.
I think what Chris is saying is...
But I mean, the spider's the same size of a spider, no matter what size he is.
Yeah, the spider doesn't, like... The spider doesn't scale.
Yeah, the
but now
poop
it's in him.
doesn't scale.
Well, yeah, it's in
Yeah,
him, but
he's got
like...
a spider in him.
But the spider stays the same size, and his stomach goes like... And, like, grows.
Yeah.
Huge.
All
But
right.
but to your point, yes, he definitely pooped a spider.
Okay, cool. I wouldn't
Now,
have been able to keep reading until
the
that
real-
got answered.
Chris, the real question is, when he pooped the spider, was it like human poop or lizard poop?
Oh,
Lizard-
like what if you eat before you turn into something small? Like, does your poop change with you, or like, do you all of a sudden shit out all the poop that won't fit in the small animal? Like, just like
every time they change into an
Yeah,
animal,
it's
they immediately all poop.
They're just
It
like,
just
oh, I
explodes
had
out
a
of them.
burger! And then it's just like...
They're just
all
a
of-
shrew
You have
pooping
to-
a human sized.
Yeah.
all of their morphing outfits have trapdoors.
You have to imagine that going from having like one anatomy to another does cause some sort of GI distress. So like I
Definitely.
imagine that like part of your like morphing back to human ritual is going to take a shit like as soon as you can.
It
just
probably
sounds
like
right.
if I were to guess, I bet like it liquefies everything. Not to get like super disgusting, but like
Like, makes it all soup.
yeah,
Why?
because like I don't know, just different stomachs. There's different stomachs and
Because
shit.
different stomachs?
Because different stomachs.
Oh, like what if they turn into a cow with multiple stomachs and they eat a lot of grass, but then they turn back into a human, but like they ate like a cow's worth of grass.
So they just
and now
start
they're a
throwing up
human.
grass.
Yeah.
Or like
Like
if
a
you
duck.
if you eat dairy as a cat, you have some like milk, but then you're lactose intolerant as a human. You just
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
out like
Or what
Come
if
back-
you eat like a whole bar of chocolate and then morph into a dog, and then you're like, "Fuck, I'm gonna die."
oh no.
There's chocolate
I have
in me
questions.
already.
Find the author. Demand answers.
All right.
I would imagine I don't know. This is more than I ever wanted to think about this, but they probably turn into like a blank version of the animal with no food in the stomach or intestines.
So it's
Because
like
every other part of them turns into this random animal.
yeah. So in that scenario, it's like a get out of jail free card with
You
food.
eat like a whole pizza
Yeah.
and
Eat
then morph.
everything. Yeah. And then morph, and then
Yeah,
it just.
It's
did
the
say
same
it
way when
heals
they
them.
get hurt, right? Because
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
get
that's
hurt
right.
as an animal and you turn back into a person, you're fine.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
They heal.
Yeah.
Oh my
They're
God,
just like going
guys.
from blank version to blank version.
God, they're
So
all-
I guess he wouldn't have the spider in him when he morphed back, probably.
Probably not. But would he have?
You'd
Now we're
have
really
the
getting into it.
psychological trauma.
Would he have?
He has the memory of eating a spider forever.
If he had
you
poop-
can't erase that.
If he had poop in him before he morphed into a lizard,
Uh-huh.
and then he morphs into a lizard, and the poop goes away, but he eats a spider, but then he morphs back into a person, the spider goes away. Does his poop come back?
Probably, but I don't fucking.
Oh man, Thanksgiving must be a
Any
tough
idea.
time for the Animorphs.
Oh
No, it's gonna be so easy because
You
they.
could probably eat like 2 Thanksgiving
yeah,
dinners then.
You,
Yeah.
you eat so much, and then you just like morph, and they're
Morph
like.
into a gorilla and
like-
eat a bunch of food and then morph back.
Yeah, or no, I'm saying you eat as a human, and then you morph, and the food goes away, and then
Yeah.
you morph back, and you're just
3
like
dinners.
dust it off. No more,
Well,
no more tryptophan.
It's my dream. 3 dinners? Yes.
Holy shit!
All
wow.
right. back to it.
That's the TikTok clip.
Let me see how Fluffer likes me now that I'm bigger than he is. I guess Fluffer was tired of causing trouble. He was actually asleep in the cat carrier, sleeping like nothing at all was going on. A typical cat. He even purred as I acquired him.
You were already bigger than he was before you turned into a shrew, and he hated you.
Yeah.
When I was done, I noticed Cassie smiling at me. What? I asked her. I was just thinking how you look like the same old Rachel, but now you also have an elephant, a shrew, an eagle, and a cat inside you. That's 4 morphs. That's more than any of us. She looked thoughtful. We don't really know very much about this morphing
Why
thing
does Cassie have this voice like she's obnoxious? But she's
'cause
very sweet.
At least one character in every book does. I only have so many voices, Becca. I wonder if there is a limit to how many
that's
morphs
fair.
I think I was following Kelly.
Also, she's a bit of a know-it-all. I guess...
You said
I guess
fashionista,
we'll
and I thought of
find out.
clueless.
But she is literally, she does know a lot.
Yeah.
She lives on a
She lives on a farm.
vet farm or
A
whatever.
a sanctuary.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out, Marco said darkly. Probably at the worst possible time, like when we found out about how poop works with morphing. I wondered if they were right. It was definitely a strange,
Yeah, I
powerful
wonder,
feeling.
they definitely get a shitload of, like, morphs that they can do. I wonder
Oh,
how
yeah.
many they have.
We read like book 46 or something,
Yeah.
and they're just like, I've morphed into fucking 100
Everything.
animals.
Yeah.
Cockroaches. Knowing that I could become 4 very different animals, strange and powerful and disturbing. Inside me, I had animals that ate each other. It wasn't a good image. Suddenly, I felt exhausted. Look, guys,
Stop
I've
saying
acquired
inside
Fluffer
me.
now. It's what it says. But maybe
know, I'm
we should
just
do the
saying.
rest of this tomorrow night. I don't know if I'm at my best right now.
Hang on, I gotta borrow again. I just keep thinking of like inside you there are 2 wolves, but in Animorphs is like inside you there's an elephant and a shrew and a cat and an eagle
Inside
and a
you, there are
dog. And
16 different animals.
That's just making me think of Breakfast Club. We're
Breakfast
all a
Club.
shrew and an elephant. And a wolf and a hawk.
We're all a shrew,
Forget
an
about
elephant,
me.
a jock, a princess, a dog.
Aren't we all
Holy
kind of
shit.
stuck in the body of a hawk?
That's
You
amazing.
know
Wait,
it, girl.
where the fuck am I?
You're too far up.
Too far up.
Go down.
Is this where? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Another night, Jake agreed. He looked relieved. I think he was worried about me. That's the way Jake is. I guess we can let Fluffer go now, Cassie said. She opened the carrier and the cat climbed out cautiously. I watched him run off into the night. Probably going off to kill your shrew, Marco speculated. The idea made me shudder all over again.
Good. Thanks, Marco.
Right? Bone notes from that
Schroeder.
one.
This is a great way for this chapter to start. Go ahead,
I
Kelly.
know. Chapter 9. Ah! 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 Wake up, Rachel. Wake up. Ah! Oh. I sat up. I was gasping for air. It was dark, but I could just make out Jordan's face. She was shaking me awake. I felt my face. Lips, eyes,
Who's Jordan?
nose.
know.
I was going to ask.
I have no idea. Sister,
I patted
brother?
myself down frantically. Human. I was human. No fur, no tail. Human. The details of the dream came rushing up to my consciousness. Oh no, I moaned. I threw back the covers and stumbled to my feet. I staggered toward the bathroom door. The bathroom connects my room and the room Jordan and Sarah share. I tried to turn on the light, but missed the switch.
Idiot. I dropped to my knees in front of me in the toilet, in front of the toilet, and I threw up. Jordan kept saying, "Are you all right? Rachel, are you all right? I better get Mom." "No," I said as soon as I could talk. "No, I'm fine. Don't wake Mom up." Fortunately, little Sarah can't sleep through anything. Fortunately, little Sarah can sleep through anything. I brushed my teeth and drank some water. I looked sheepishly at Jordan. She looks nothing like me. Different dads. I guess I look more like my dad, and Jordan is like the smaller version of my mom. Dark hair and dark eyes. She looked pretty scared. "I'm okay," I said again. "Just a bad dream. I guess it made me kind of sick is all. But I'm fine now." Jordan relaxed a little. "Must have been some dream." I guess so. I can't even remember it now. You know how it is. Dreams fade away, so you can't even remember them. You know how dreams are? Like that? I can't believe you would just forget a dream that made you scream and hurt. Hurl. Guys, I'm fine. I shrugged. I have never been very good at remembering dreams. You better get back to bed. She looked at me solemnly. I know I'm just your little sister by 2 years, but you would tell me if something bad was happening to you, right? I mean, I wouldn't tell Mom or anyone. You could trust me. Did you get an abortion?
Oh, Jesus.
That's definitely how I talk to my siblings. I know I'm just your older sister by 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely talk that way to my brothers and not just exclusively through Big Trouble in Little China quotes.
I smiled and drew her into a hug. I know I can trust you. If anything bad was going on, I'd tell you. It was a lie, of course, and the lie made me feel even worse. I trusted Jordan. I knew in my heart that she was not a controller. Of course, that's just what Jake had said about Tom. I hugged my sister a little closer. I hated the way suspicion had crept into every part of my mind. I hated the way I wasn't sure, not really totally sure, that I could trust her. Good night, I said. Thanks for rescuing me from that nightmare, whatever it was. Definitely not about shrews. She started to walk away. Then she turned, lit from behind by the garish bathroom light. Before you started screaming, you were yelling something.
It was
What?
Shrew,
I asked,
shrew.
afraid of the answer. She looked puzzled. I think it was maggots. Something like that. She's just screaming, maggots! 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 I forced a shaky smile. Good night, Jordan. Crawled back into my bed. The pillow was soaked with sweat. Ew, the sheets were clammy. Ew! Maggots.
Ew.
Squirming, crawling. Busy little white maggots. They were all over a piece of rotting meat and fur. In my dream, it was a dead cat. A dead cat covered with vermin eating the decayed flesh. A shrew was getting in on the feast, eating the dead flesh and the living maggots with equal enjoyment.
Getting in on it.
Getting in on it.
In my dream, I knew I was that shrew.
That's a beautiful lyric.
Meanwhile, sorry, later.
Sometime later.
You look tired, Jake said the next morning. We took the same bus to school. Thanks, I said grumpily.
Jake knows how to talk to girls.
Didn't get enough sleep last night? He's just a good leader, Jonathan.
I'm sorry.
I guess not, if I look as bad as you say. I didn't say you looked bad. I just said you looked tired. He hesitated. He glanced over his shoulder.
I didn't say you were a bitch. I said you were acting like a bitch.
I'm just saying, the way you were acting, someone might misconstrue as you being a bitch.
God damn it.
He glanced over his shoulder, checking to see whether anyone was listening. Fortunately, the noise level was pretty high in the bus. Jake lowered his voice and leaned close to my ear. You didn't get creeped out by the shrew, did you? Why?
God.
Just because I'm a girl, you think the shrew bothered me more than it would have bothered you or Marco? No, that's not it at all, he said earnestly. It's just, see, when I did the lizard morph, that bothered me. I had nightmares. Nightmares? I said it too loudly. Then I lowered my voice back to a whisper. Nightmares? Oh yeah, definitely. When I morphed the tiger, I had dreams too, but not nightmares. What kind of dreams? He smiled. Kind of cool, really. Stalking through a dark forest at night. I was hunting something.
Fuck.
It was like I wanted...
this?
Sorry?
No, just what is this? Go on.
What's that? Lucid dreaming from Vanilla Sky. That's what this is.
Oh God. I fucking hate that movie so much.
I love
Vanilla
it, but probably
Sky.
for the same reasons you hate it. It was like I wanted to catch it, but at the same time, it was like if I didn't catch it, that would be okay too. Because just running and creeping and then running some more through the woods was the best thing in the world.
You know, like how tigers feel.
Yeah. I nodded. I felt like that after the elephant morph. It was this incredible feeling of being huge and invincible. Like I could never even possibly be afraid of everything.
I don't know
The
if
shrews-
elephants feel that way because Elephants have predators,
Yeah.
and I think they experience fear.
Elephants have predators, chief among them humans.
They're highly
And lions.
emotional.
But like in lions, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very emotional. They, like, grieve for their children and shit.
Right.
They get lonely.
Aren't they one of the only animals
not
that
just
actually
like,
show grief over dead?
Yeah, they're not like, I'm a big tough guy.
I'm a
big tough elephant.
elephant. Ooh,
They're like, I have,
get stomped.
I have feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very well researched. This
Definitely.
alien animal book. So scientific.
So scientific.
Oh, it's like the way that they're talking about it is like the bigger the animal you morph into, the more invincible and powerful you are. Doesn't matter what kind of just
Yeah.
the bigger.
No.
Small, terrified.
Big animal cool.
Big
Small animal gross and scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Scared of everything.
Scared of everything.
But the shrew is different, wasn't it? Same with the lizard? I guess it's the different characters of the animals. Maybe some are good matches for our human brains, maybe others aren't. I looked out the window for a while. Then I said, "You know what scares me?" To my surprise, Jake nodded. "Yeah, you're afraid that someday we might have to morph into bugs." I don't think I knew that was what scared her.
Me either.
I shuddered. "I don't think I'll be willing to do that. I think that may be too much." "Well, your next assignment is
my
cat."
God.
Tobias was a cat. He said it was amazingly cool. He liked it, just like I really enjoy being a dog. Sometimes, when I'm feeling depressed, I really wish I could just morph. Dogs know how to have fun.
Can't you, though?
Right?
Yeah, wait.
I mean,
I
can't
thought-
he morph?
aren't those
Can't
the
he just
rules?
be a dog
Yeah, can't
when
you
he
just
wants
morph
to be?
into a dog, whatever you want?
Oh my god, I would morph into a cat and stay there forever. I would love to be a cat.
Oh my, seriously, the
don't
amount of
do
time,
shit.
the amount of times we've looked at our cats and just be like, must be fucking nice.
Yeah.
Sleep all day, do nothing,
Be all
Sounds so
cozy and
good.
stretchy.
crawl under a blanket, be cute and insane at the same time.
Just be able to yell and someone feeds you.
Yeah.
It's the dream.
Eat shrews.
Eat shrews.
Imagine laying around all day and then going, hungry. I'm hungry.
And then
Hungry.
food appears.
And then food appears, yeah. All you have to do is be annoying enough, and then someone's like, God damn it, fine!
Oh, it's amazing.
I never thought about it that way, but now whenever the cats meow, I'm going to think of them saying,
Hungry.
Oh my god.
The bus pulled up in front of the school. Another day of school. Normal life. I looked over the crowds of kids milling around on the lawn and the steps. I spotted Melissa.
I just had a thought. If they all just, like, were able to touch one honey badger.
yeah.
They don't
They can
give a
take down
fuck.
anyone.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
The war would be over.
The war would be over. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. All you gotta do is, because I was just thinking of the whole like small animal, tiny, terrified of everything. Big animal, amazing, powerful. I'm just like fucking honey badgers. Honey badgers kill everything.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. And
Wow, you woke up screaming, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
if I feel like if you morphed into a honey badger, you'd be like, I've never had more confidence in my
Yeah.
entire life. I will go eat a fucking hornet's nest right now. I will stick my tender pink mouth into a hornet's nest and I will triumph.
Has that happened?
Probably.
Okay. It just seemed really specific.
I bet they'd fucking eat hornets. They're fucking insane. Okay. She spotted Melissa. See you later, Jake, I said. Thanks. No problem. We're all in this together. I love you, probably. I made my way down the bus aisle and ran to
What
catch
does that
up.
mean?
The
It doesn't matter.
like the middle of the bus.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like the aisle between the seats.
I guess it does sound weird. And ran to catch up to Melissa, but when I got close, I saw that her eyes were red and swollen.
Aww.
She'd been crying. I didn't know what to do. In the old days, I would have run right up to her and asked what was the matter. Hey, Melissa, how's it going? She looked at me confused. What? I said, how's it going? She shook her head slowly, like she couldn't believe I was even talking
Oh
to
my
her.
god, did her fucking cat die? Because that would be hilarious.
Oh no!
What if that cat choked on a shrew?
Oh no!
Don't read ahead. Okay, okay,
It's
okay,
impossible.
okay. She shook her head slowly, like she couldn't believe I was even talking to her. What do you care? Melissa, of course I care. What's wrong? Her eyes went kind of blank. She seemed to be looking at nothing but the air right in front of her face. What's wrong? Everything is wrong, and nothing is wrong, but just the same. Everything is wrong, but nothing is wrong, but everything is wrong. Melissa, what the fuck are you talking about? Forget it, she said. She started to walk away. I grabbed her arm. Look, you can talk to me. I'm still your friend. Nothing has changed. Leave me alone, she said grimly. Everything has changed.
Everyone has changed. And you stopped being my friend, and my mom and dad... What? I pressed her. The bell rang loud and shrill. I have to go. She pulled her arm away. What could I do? I let her go. I wondered what she had started to say about her father. Had she discovered what her father was? What her father had become?
Her parents were probably just getting a divorce. It would be a fucking billion times better if the fucking cat died.
Yes.
That would be
After all that effort.
so... Oh my god. That'd be like, Fluffer?
No.
I walked up the steps of the school with my head lowered in thought. As I opened the school door, I ran right into someone. Hey, watch where you're going, young lady. Mr. Chapman! I recoiled in fear. See, you have to realize that this was the man who had once directed a Hork-Bajir soldier to kill us all if he caught us. Kill us. I don't really remember what they are. Are they the blue ones? No, they're not. Those are the Andalites. What's Hork-Bajir?
I don't know. I just think
Okay.
it's the funniest name in the world.
Oh, Hork!
Hork-Bajir.
Kill us and only save our heads for identification. That kind of thing sticks in your mind. He peered at me. What's the matter with you, Rachel?
Wait, kill us and only save our heads?
He had directed a Hork-Bajir soldier to kill us and only save our heads for identification.
Wow. That's fucked up.
It's fucked
These
up,
books
man,
are
Chapman.
fucking crazy.
They really are. What's the matter with you, Rachel? A little jumpy this morning? I nodded. Yes, sir. I guess I didn't sleep too well. Bad dreams? He asked. My mouth was dry. I guess so, Mr. Chapman. Sorry. He smiled. A normal human smile. His eyes even crinkled up a little as he grinned down at me. Well, shake it off. Nightmares aren't real, you know. At least not most of the time, I said to myself.
Chapter 10. We couldn't go to the Chapmans the next night because Marco and I both had papers we had to write. Because despite being Animorphs, we were still kids in school. And the night after that was Cassie's dad's birthday. But finally, there we were again on the street outside the Chapman's
Who
house.
cares? Were
It
you
was a
guys
little before
invited?
Right?
Like,
It was a little before 8. Fluffer was out of the house, smelling a
Cassie's
fence
dad's
post.
like, my birthday won't be the same unless all my daughter's friends are here.
I know that's what I, an adult, wants. Or my hypothetical children and their friends hanging around on my birthday.
That would be actually be like a good line for a dad in a show. Like, oh yeah, great. I know my birthday wouldn't be the same unless all my kids' friends were here. Anyway, where did I leave off? It was a little before 8. Fluffer was out of the house, smelling a fence post 4 blocks over, where another cat had left his scent. At least that's what Tobias reported. He's really into animals peeing. Are you ready? Jake asked me. I nodded. Are you sure? Cassie asked. You can put this off if you want. We don't have to do this tonight.
The sooner the better, I said. We all know something is wrong in that house. Melissa is still my friend. Maybe somehow I can help her. Your job is not to help Melissa Chapman, Marco pointed out. You're supposed to be spying on Chapman. You're supposed to be finding some way for us to get at the Yeerks so that we can all turn into wild animals and get ourselves killed. I know I am doing this, Marco, I said. He nodded. Okay.
He really is like the exposition guy.
He really is. He's filling in so many blanks for me. Thanks, Marco.
He's like fucking Tyrese from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
He's just like reminding
He's just like,
everyone
so
what the
you're
plan
telling
is.
me this
We
plan,
haven't died.
What's the plan again?
Yeah,
Let's go over it.
Yeah. And everyone hates him, just like Tyrese.
Yes. Oh my
Oh.
God, he is Tyrese.
Wow. He nodded. Okay, well, take care of yourself in there. That's an assistant principal you're dealing with.
The most powerful man in America.
He finds out you've turned into a cat and gone sneaking around his house. That will be after school detention for like a year.
I
We
think
all
he'd
laughed.
just murder you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like there's a better punishment for that.
That is 100% the kind of joke Tyrese would make. Sorry, I keep saying this. I'm just like, I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
You're right, though.
Yeah. And like
We
he
all
would,
laughed.
and he would say that joke, and everyone in the crew would stare at him for like a long time, like holding for audience laughter, but no one in the movie's laughing. Anyway, go on. I love Fast and Furious so much.
Me too.
Okay. We know.
We all laughed, as if detention were the thing I had to fear. Marco can be obnoxious, but on the other hand, he can make you laugh right when you really need to. I'm ready, I said. I waved my arms at the dark sky above. Tobias swooped down, opened his wings to slow his speed, and settled onto the fence beside us. How does it look up there, Tobias? Jake asks. Looks fine. The cat is nowhere near the house. There's no one out walking around except way over on Laughlin Street. There are a couple of cars, but not coming toward you.
So they're not even going to try to detain the cat. They're just asking for that cat to fucking stroll in the house.
Yeah, right? It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
It's gonna
You
happen.
can see it from a mile away.
Children are
Like
so
a hawk.
dumb.
I can see it like a hawk.
Historically, yes.
You know, you have quite a future in burglary, Marco said to Tobias. You and I can burglarize places, and Jake can be Spider-Man and catch us.
What?
What?
What? Is that a joke because he ate a spider?
I guess. Oh, can he morph into a spider since he ate a spider? Does that count as...
Probably not,
What
because
was
you
the-
got because you
shit
gotta
that they
you gotta
called?
acquire it. You have to
Acquiring,
like you have to
yeah.
like mind meld with it first. You can't just like eat
You
it.
can't just digest it.
See, I also thought it was just like I touched you, now I can morph. Like I
Yeah.
think you gotta be like
You have to like absorb the DNA
You have to, like,
knowledge.
hold the spider and look into his like million eyes and be like, I am the spider. I am not the
They don't have a million eyes, Jonathan.
How many eyes do they have, Chris?
Bitch. More than 2. Less than
Less than a
10.
million.
Less than a million. All right, cool. Less than 10? You're thinking of
I
their
don't know.
legs. Becca, look up how many eyes do spiders have.
On it.
Okay, I'm ready to do this, I announced. As ready as I'm gonna get anyway. Tobias sent me a private message, a DM. Rachel, if you get into any trouble, just try and make it outside. I can lift you out of danger.
Spiders usually have 8 eyes. Some have 6 or fewer.
Like their legs.
But yeah, oh, look how cute that one is.
No.
More than
That's
2,
pretty
less
cute.
than
It's
10.
It's a pretty cute spider.
Precious
I
little.
was correct.
More than 2, less than 10. All right, Chris was right.
I'm a good guesser.
Look how cute.
Looks snuggly.
Tobias sent me a private message. Oh, yes. I prepared to morph. I concentrated on Fluffer. It was easy to do. I had a very clear mental image of Fluffer dropping down out of that tree, ready to kill me when I was a shrew. Hey, guys, remember when I was a shrew? Inside my own body, Fluffer's DNA was stored, ready to be used. All I had to do was concentrate. Concentrate. Each morphing is different, especially the first time, when you can't even think about controlling how it happens. Even Cassie can't control the first morph. That perfect bitch. In the case of Fluffer, it started with fur. Black fur came first, then the white fur began to grow. The fur had almost completely grown in while I was still mostly human. Have you guys seen cats?
Ooh,
Unfortunately.
I had
5 minutes.
I had luxurious fur on my arms, on my legs, on my face.
Get out.
Call me Mr. Mistopheles. That's it? Did I get it right?
Kind of. Eventually.
Macavity.
Mistopheles.
McCavity. Remember when Idris Elba teleported and he went, McCavity?
It was a work of art.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be on my deathbed talking about that movie. Okay.
It was a life-changing experience. I think about it every day.
There was like, I remember 6 months after we saw that movie, I was talking about it at a party, and I think Bekah was like, "You have to stop talking about cats. You have to stop talking about this movie." Anyway, where was I? Fur, luxurious fur on my arms, on my legs, on my face, fur and whiskers, with everything else pretty much the same. Weird. "Oh, that is cool," Cassie said. She was staring at me and grinning this huge grin. "That is way cool. You look great." Wonder if she had a butthole.
Well, she had a butthole.
We've already gone over the whole gastric system.
No,
of
I
animal.
was making another cat's joke.
Oh.
The butthole cut.
Marco and Jake nodded agreement. It's kind of weird, but also kind of pretty, Marco said. "I'm thinking you could do commercials for cat food. You sing a little song, maybe dance around a little."
It's just making me think of community. Like every time one of the morphs just like do all of them, but just say to themselves, "I hope this doesn't awaken something in me."
"Forget Morris the cat. You would rule." I began to shrink. Morris is the orange cat. That's on the Meow Mix, I think.
That cat has a name?
Yeah, it's
What?
Morris. I think that's him.
I
Google
didn't
it.
know that.
But how do you know?
I don't know. It's just no.
Morris the cat. Okay, go on.
I began to shrink, but it was strange because as I shrank and my outer clothing slithered off of me, I didn't feel like I was getting smaller. I felt more like I was getting stronger. It was like I was shedding all this unnecessary stuff, these clumsy long legs.
Morris
Is
the
that
cat.
Morris?
Yeah.
Is that the Meow
Advertising
Mix?
mascot for 9 Lives.
Oh, 9 Lives. Yeah. These ridiculous weak arms.
He died in 1978.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, go on.
Okay. Wow. With that pall over me.
With that Paul.
Nope. I felt like I'd been boiled down to my absolute essentials. Like I wasn't even made out of plain old flesh and bones anymore. I felt like liquid steel. I didn't feel the fear of the shrew. I didn't feel the total confidence of the elephant either, or of the eagle. This was different. There was fear, sure, but underneath the fear was confidence.
Insanity.
The cat, right? It should be utter fucking insanity. That should be the only thing you feel is just like random brain zaps.
I suddenly saw demons everywhere.
The cat knew there were enemies out there, but he also knew he could handle it. I felt tough. That was it. Tough. Then the cat's senses started sending messages to my brain. "Whoa!" I yelled in surprise. Suddenly it isn't nighttime anymore. I mean, wow, talk about night vision.
A cat's vision at night is about 8 times stronger than a human's, Cassie said helpfully. I looked it up. 8 times? Marco repeated. Not 7 or 9? How do they measure that? But it wasn't just how well I saw that was strange. It was what I noticed. A human being will notice colors, for example. Now, a cat can see colors, more or less. He just isn't interested in colors. It's like, okay, that thing is red. Who cares? What cats
No.
really notice is movement.
That's not how it
If
works.
anything moves, even the tiniest bit, the cat sees it. I was standing there on the grass, looking around with my big cat eyes, and I saw nothing but movement. I saw every blade of grass that moved in the breeze. I saw every bug that crawled across those blades of grass. I saw every bird in every tree as it fluffed its wings. And boy, did I see the mice and the squirrels and the rats. There was a mouse no more than 20 feet away. I could see the individual whiskers on his little snout when they twitched. Things that were not moving were boring to me. What?
They don't
You
have like
what?
telescopic.
Yeah. I don't think they have that kind of vision.
Maybe
Yeah.
Fluffer does.
I
You
think
don't know what
They
Brady
can
is.
sense stuff, but they don't have like fucking telescope eyes.
Yeah.
It
Things that
doesn't
were not
matter.
moving
I
were
shouldn't be
boring
thinking
to
about
me.
this so hard.
If the mouse just stayed completely still, I would forget he was even there. How are you doing? Jake asked
What are
me
you,
with such
T-Rex?
concern. I had no trouble at all hearing his voice. but it was irrelevant.
It had no meaning. The mouse was making a tiny little scritching sound as it worked its little teeth around a nut, trying to chew it open. I cared about that sound. I cared about that sound a lot. Rachel, can you hear us? It's me, Cassie. Yes, I can hear you. I just can't seem to concentrate very well on you. There are so many other things to hear and see and smell. Well, at least she's not running around out of control, Marco said. Suddenly, I sensed something over my head. A shape, a shadow, a figure. Lightning quick, I turned my head. My ears flattened back against my skull. The hair on my back stood up and my tail puffed out to 3 times its normal size. My claws extended. I drew back my mouth and showed my teeth. It all happened in a split second. I was ready for battle. And whatever this was attacking me, I wanted it to know it would be sorry it messed with Fluffer McKitty.
Oh my god. Chapter 11.
Bankruptcy.
Thank you. I was ready to fight. I was pumped. Kill or be killed. It is so cool when you feel the razor-sharp claws sliding out of your delicate-looking pink pads. Snick. Rachel, take a pill, girl. It's just Tobias. Oh, sorry. Rachel, take a pill, girl. It's just Tobias, Cassie said soothingly. Tobias? I think maybe you'd better stay away, she called up to the sky. Cats are genetically programmed to be afraid of large birds. She was right. The shadow of Tobias scared me pretty good. It was strange because it was a fear I shared with the shrew. I shared. But I was...
I had to bring up the fucking shrew again.
But it was a different type of fear than the shrews. This was more like I was angry, too. Only that wasn't quite it either.
I guess it wasn't a real emotion at all. Basically, when I'd hissed, I was just trying to communicate. And the message I was trying to communicate was, don't mess with me. You may be bigger than me. You may scare me. You may make me run away. Oh, cool. Now I can't see at all. Literally can't see. You put it right in front of my eyeballs.
I was trying to get it in front of your face.
You did.
Or I was trying to get it in front of your mouth. Just trying to help, guys.
Okay, sorry.
You suck.
Great job.
Don't get in my way. Don't try to touch me if I don't want to be touched. Don't try to keep me from getting what I want. I was self-contained. I was complete. I didn't need anything but myself. It seemed lonely to my human self, but at the same time, it was all very calm somehow. I'm okay, I said. I think I'm pretty much in control. What's it like? Cassie asked. It's like, you know those old cowboy movies with Clint Eastwood? He's a gunslinger and he walks into the saloon and everyone kind of gets out of his way. And how he's not really looking for trouble, but you better not make him mad. So fucking stupid. That's what it's like to be a cat. It's like I'm Clint Eastwood. That's how cats feel all the time. Cats feel like they're Clint Eastwood.
You know what? I kind of get it.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It is
I
bad.
kind of...
It's bad. Can you
I'm not
do
saying
this?
it's perfect. I'm just saying I kind of get it.
Can you do this, do you think? Jake asked me. Oh, yeah. I can do anything. Don't let the cat's arrogance get you in trouble, Marco.
Cats have the unearned confidence I feel like Clint Eastwood probably has.
They do have a lot of unearned confidence. That is true.
Keep a little of your good old human fear. He paused. Oh, I forgot. Mighty Rachel doesn't have any good old human fear. So here's what you do. Borrow some of my good old human fear. I have plenty to spare.
What?
No one laughs.
Right. He's right, Rachel, Cassie agreed. Keep focused. Between your own natural attitude and the cat's tude, you could get cocky.
Dude.
It's said tude.
Tude.
Just want to say that for the listener.
Yeah.
It said tude. I cast a glance back toward the mouse.
She does watch The
He had
Simpsons.
This is a real sentence. He had broken into the nut at last. I could kill him. I was sure of that.
kill
He
him.
was a plump little mouse, and I would catch him easily, but I wasn't hungry, so he'd get to live a while longer.
Jesus.
No problem, I said. We're here if you get into a mess, Cassie reassured me. I'll meow if I need help. Don't worry, I'm in control now. It'll be fine. But the truth is, I was lying just a little.
No
See,
shit.
I wasn't
You're
completely in control of the cat, in case you didn't pick that up, dear reader. For some reason, I didn't want to completely control the cat. I kind of liked his arrogance. It made me feel more sure of myself. And despite what the others thought about me, I needed all the confidence I could get. Okay, so we confirmed she turned into a male cat.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I suddenly
Yeah.
understood what being a white man is like.
Animorphs, breaking new ground. All right. The morph clock is ticking, Cassie said. It's 8:15.
Morph
Remember
clock.
that. I headed an easy trot down the sidewalk toward the Chapman house. As soon as I started moving, I thought, oh man, if I could just keep some of this for my next gymnastics class.
What?
Is this the
was a
first
real
time they've
sentence.
mentioned the gymnastics class? Because what a way to let us know.
They did talk
They might
about
have
it
mentioned
before.
Yeah, I think she's in gymnastics with Melissa.
Yeah.
Ah. It was like grace beyond any grace you can imagine as a human. I passed a wooden fence. There was railing up high, maybe 3 feet up. I looked up at it, and then before I could even think about it, I leapt. My powerful hind legs coiled up and released. I sailed through the air. 3 feet straight up, and I was an animal that stood only about 12 or 13 inches tall. It was the same as a human being, just leaping to the top of a 2-story building. And it was totally nothing.
I guess so.
It was just automatic. I wanted to jump, so I did. I wanted to stick the landing on a narrow 2-inch wide rail, and of course, no problem. Compared to a cat, the best gymnast who ever lived is like a big staggering cow or something.
Well said.
Yeah, real nice.
Like a big staggering cow or something.
We can't all be cats, Rachel.
Yeah,
And all
fuck.
the Animorphs, Rachel.
Rachel, what exactly are you doing? Jake asked. They were all standing there looking at me. I had totally forgotten they were still around. Just practicing, I said. I jumped back down to the grass. Okay, get the job done first, I ordered myself sternly. You can worry about the Kitty Olympics later. I started again toward the house, but this time something forced me to stop. It was a telephone pole.
The smell that emanated from it was overpowering. I went over to it. I sniffed it again and again in short snorts of air. My mouth hung open, and that weird thing where the cats do, they're like... The air was trapped in a series of chambers above my palate. It would be held there even while I went on breathing. That way I could get every possible bit of information from that smell. It was definitely a tom scent. A tomcat had marked this pole by peeing on it. He was a dominant cat, very dominant. His smell made me nervous, not afraid, just a little less arrogant than I had been. If this cat appeared, I would have to submit. He was the alpha. I would have to make myself smaller and less threatening and accept his dominance. Or I could fight him and get my butt kicked. It was just the way things were. It was all there in the smell of his urine, where any cat could read it. I resumed trotting towards the Chapman's home. That was unnecessary. None of that mattered.
No.
I smelled this guy's pee, and I was like, all right, game recognized game.
Gotta fight him.
This guy must be tough.
This guy must be tough.
So it's the way it in men's rooms at bars. You smell the other
Yeah.
guy's pee, it's just like, oh, I'm not gonna mess with
Yeah,
that guy.
you go to a men's room, and you're just like, oh, he's more powerful than me. I can tell from
Or
his...
he really needs to see a doctor.
Rachel, are you sure you're in control? Tobias's voice is in my head. Why did you stop to sniff that pole? I figured I should look like a real cat. I said, I was just playing the part. If you say so, he said doubtfully. Just remember, it's fun being an animal for a while. Not so fun when it's permanent. The 2-hour clock is ticking. Tick-tock! That got my attention. It was like a dash of cold water in my face. Or hot urine. You pick.
Ew. I focused my human mind and took greater control over the cat's mind, but it wasn't easy. The
Do you
cat-
feel like if you morphed into a cat, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What? Because no control over your attention.
Yeah. The cat's mind did not even understand the notion of obeying. So I used something the cat would respond to. I conjured up the memory of the Big Tom smell that triggered the cat's submissiveness. I felt my part of the collective mind grow larger. You're almost there, Tobias said. This is the right yard. Yes, I know. My scent is everywhere. This whole area smells of me. This is home. This is all mine. Rachel, this is all Chapman's. And Chapman belongs to Visser 3. Don't forget that. I forgot about whatever that is. I trotted to the cat door. Chapman, Visser 3. Big deal. I was a combination of Rachel and Fluffer. What did I care about Chapman and Visser 3? The light inside the house was bright. My eyes adjusted instantly. My nose picked up the smell of cat food, too dry and old to interest me. I also smelled the humans. Melissa, Mr. Chapman, and Ms. Chapman. Don't ask me how I knew.
I love that arcade game.
That took me a second.
Don't ask me how I knew that what I smelled were those 3 people. I just knew. We fucking get it.
Oh, God.
We get it. I spotted a cockroach in the dust balls in the dark beneath the refrigerator. No interest to me. Roaches made interesting scritchy noises sometimes, and they were fun to watch run. Ew.
But they smelled wrong. They were not prey. Swift movements! Feet. Human feet. I didn't bother looking up. It was Ms. Chapman. High-pitched sounds coming from the motor of the refrigerator. They were annoying. There were also sounds of birds outside. They had a nest up under the eaves. Then the sound of Melissa's voice. Where was she? I didn't see her anywhere. The sound was muffled. I tried to focus. My ears moved to point toward the sound. It came from above me. Above and far away. She was in her bedroom. That's where. I couldn't hear the words clearly, but I knew that she was muttering to herself. I trotted across the kitchen floor, nonchalantly. I knew, as Rachel, I knew I should be afraid. But I couldn't be afraid. Everything here smelled like me. My scent glands had left their marks all over. On that door, on that cupboard, on that chair. It reassured me. The big, dominant tomcat smell was not in here. No, there were no other cats in here at all. Only human smells, and those were not very important. I left the kitchen and paused at the corner.
Spoken like a true cat.
Between the hallway and the family room.
Chapman was there, in the living room. I could smell him. He was just sitting on the couch. I glanced at him and walked on. Then I stopped. My human brain sensed something wrong with the picture. Chapman was just sitting on the couch. No TV, no music. He wasn't reading a book or a newspaper. Just sitting. I turned back to the kitchen. I looked up at Mrs. Chapman. She was doing something at the sink, maybe washing dishes. No, she was cutting vegetables. But again, no TV, no music. She wasn't humming to herself. She wasn't talking to herself the way my mom does when she's working in the kitchen. Everyone's mom talks to themselves. We all know
I
that.
was gonna say, what's wrong with your
That's
mom?
a red flag?
Yeah. Not right. Something was not right with either of the Chapmans. I went back to the hallway. There were stairs leading up to the bedrooms. From the hallway, I could hear Melissa more clearly. I concentrated, trying to ignore the fascinating sounds of the birds under the eaves. I focused on the human sounds of Melissa's voice. Divided by the square root. No, wait. No, square root times. Oh, is that right? She was doing her homework. Her math homework, obviously. No fucking shit,
Duh.
Rachel.
Even a
Like,
cat knows that.
Yeah. Like I should be doing, I thought. I had a pang of guilt.
Instead of doing my homework, I was creeping around my friend's house spying on her and her parents. I tried to find a clock. I had to watch the time. At 9:45, my 2 hours would be up. I wanted to be out of Morph and back in my normal body long before then. Hopefully, I could still get home and do my math homework, and at least do some of the reading for social studies class. I spotted a clock. It was over the mantel, between the pictures of the Chapmans and Melissa. The clock said 3 minutes until 8. I had plenty of time. Sudden movement!
Oh, God.
Just Chapman standing up. The cat part of me wasn't
Do
interested
you think
in...
every time we move slightly, one of our cats is like, sudden movement?
1,000,000,000%, yes. Every time you make any... Like, if Pancakes is, like, lying there and she's mostly asleep and you, like, move your foot, she's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, definitely. Oh, just Chapman standing up. The cat part of me wasn't interested in Chapman one way or the other, but I forced myself to pay attention. It was important to watch him. That was why I was here. Is he prey? The cat brain seemed to be asking. Yes, yes, I told the cat brain. Chapman is our prey.
They're 12.
What the fuck?
I don't know. No, I just all
books are great.
All I keep thinking
They
is
really are.
kids read this.
And this is interesting. I just feel like this is a lot more of information about what it's like to be in an animal's body than the other Animorphs book we read.
Yeah.
Which, like, this is only book 2. The other one we read was, like, 65 or some shit.
Yeah.
So they were just then I was an elephant, and then I wasn't. Who fucking cares?
I turned
This
into a
book
tiny
is, like,
elephant.
really
inside
getting
someone's-
into the psychology of, like, what it's like to be in an animal's brain.
Yeah. It still has the body horror element.
Yes, it does have that always.
I really missed out not reading these as a child.
This just also keeps making me think of like what's his name from Party Down? Just like, so this is hard sci-fi for kids.
This is hard sci-fi. I followed Chapman as he headed down the hallway. Either he didn't notice me or else he didn't care. He opened a door that let loose a flood of smells. Dampness, mildew, bugs. Rachel, how are you doing in there? I jerked in surprise. A very un-cat-like movement. But then, like, again, any movement is a cat movement. They could be walking and standing still and jerk in surprise, and I'd be like, that's a cat being fucking crazy.
Sometimes our cats just sit there silently looking like a normal cat, and then they'll be like, "Arr!" and just like...
And just sprint.
Spring up into the air and like run around.
Yeah. It was Tobias. He had to be fairly close for me to be able to hear his thought speech. He must be on the roof or perched on a nearby tree branch. I strained my sensitive cat hearing. The birds under the eaves were silent. They were afraid of the big hawk.
I'm fine, I said, but you scared me half to death. Sorry, I was just worried. Well, don't worry. I'm following Chapman down to the basement. Why? Because that's where he's going, duh, I said. Somehow, Tobias's human words were annoying me. He wanted me to pay attention to him, and it was hard to do. The cat didn't care about his words. The cat just wanted to go down and look around the basement. Fortunately, that's what I wanted to do, too. I trotted down the rough wooden stairs after Chapman. Very weird, by the way. Going downstairs as a cat gave me a feeling of vertigo. I mean, I was going down head first. It's strange. Look, Tobias, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm kind of busy right now. I understand.
Was flying around as a bird earlier in this book,
Yes.
and being a cat is like breaking her mind.
Yeah.
She was literally flying.
Yeah. And now she's just like, who, what, who, what,
It's like
where,
going
who,
down
what?
the stairs head first sure is weird.
It would be funny if
Like
she
you
just
were
like...
a bird and you grabbed a gun from the person with your talons.
First of all, it'd be funny if she was a cat and she was going down the stairs and was like, oh, and just like tumbled. But also, if I saw one of our cats do that, I'd be like, you fucking idiot. And like, I would not...
You stupid cat.
I would not bat an eye because cats are insane and
you
stupid.
wouldn't be like, there's probably a person in there.
Well, I think they established that like when you first turn into one of them, it's kind of hard to separate the two.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Tobias, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm kind of busy right now. I understand. I can't hear you very well anyway. You're getting farther away. Yeah, I'm going down. I waited. He said nothing. Tobias, I called, but there was no answer. We're still learning about thought speech. We knew there are limits on how far it can be, in quotes, heard, but we aren't sure what the limits are. The basement had paneling all around. Does the wood paneling
Yeah, is
deter
it
thought speech?
blocking your brainwaves?
The ceiling was bare wood and full of spiders and other interesting things.
Call Jake.
Yeah, right?
No mice, though. Nothing that could be considered actual prey. But many things that might be fun to chase. Chapman is the prey, I reminded myself. We are hunting Chapman. There was a sort of TV room with a pool table and some old chairs and a couch, but it was obvious that no one had used them for a long time. There were no human scents on them. There was dust everywhere, and I could hear that there were spiders inside of the TV set.
Ew.
Whoa.
I don't want to know
part of
that.
No. The only part of the basement that appeared to have been used was a path right across the floor. I smelled the scents that Chapman had tracked there with his shoes. He walked in a straight line across the basement to a door. It was a simple white painted door. Chapman pulled a set of keys out of his pocket. He unlocked the white door. He opened it and stepped through. 5 feet beyond the white door was a second door. This one was made of gleaming steel. It looked like the door to a bank vault. Besides the steel door, there was a small, square white panel of light. Chapman pressed his hand against it. The steel door opened. It slid into the wall like the doors on Star Trek.
What?
I knew I had to go after him.
Shit from Star Trek. Pick up your own shit.
Hey, you guys have seen
hard.
Star Trek, right? It's just like that.
What's in his eye? What are you doing?
It's like it. I think it's just like hard goop, but it's like
But you're
really.
pulling really hard.
Well, it's really in there.
Ew.
John and Bekah are grooming their cat.
Yes.
John is grooming the cat.
I'm
am
grooming
looking
the
in
cat,
horror.
and who knows if he's really a cat.
Oh.
It's Rachel, and they're like, "Oh my god, my fucking eye!"
Let go. Dusty, what is going on with your eye? Sorry, go on.
I knew I had to go after him, but my human mind was afraid.
And my cat mind didn't see any reason why I should walk into that dark place. To both of us, it felt like a trap, like a place we couldn't get out of. But I had to. I had to go in there. That was the whole point of this spying trip. And Chapman was my prey. At the last second, just as the door swooshed shut, I bounded into the room. It was dark at first, not that it bothered me, as a cat. Then Chapman turned on a low light. It was strange because I could actually see better in the dark than I could see with the low light. There was a sort of desk set into the wall. It was gray steel and very unusual looking. There were more little light panels in various cheerful colors, and then there was something that looked like a small but complicated spotlight hanging down from the ceiling. In front of the desk was a chair, a totally normal office-type chair. Chapman sat in it. He ran.
What if he turned around and the chair was just like, "So, Fluffer McKitty, report.
That'd be awesome.
Agent McKitty."
Agent McKitty. Chapman sat in it. He ran his hands over a blue panel. Then he looked at his watch. He sat, patiently, waiting. For about a minute, nothing happened. I tried to look nonchalant, like I had just happened to wander in. But at the same time, I was careful to stay behind Chapman so he wouldn't see me. I remembered Jake's warning about how anyone else would just assume I was a plain old cat.
But Chapman knew about morphing. The Yeerks knew about the Andalite morphing technology. So if Chapman or any other controller saw an animal acting the wrong way, they could suspect the truth. Suddenly a brilliant light snapped on. My cat eyes adjusted instantly, but even so the light was painfully bright. It came from the little spotlight thing. Chapman turned around in his chair to face the light. The light began to change. It took shape. It turned different colors. The 4 hooves appeared.
What?
The bluish fur. What?
What?
The many-fingered hands. It's an Andalite.
Oh.
The flat, intelligent face with no mouth and only slits for a nose. The penetrating almond-shaped main eyes. Then the
What?
strange extra eyes, mounted on stalks that turned this way and that, looking around the room. Last came the tail, the wicked, curved, scorpion-like tail. An Andalite, just like the Andalite prince that had given us our powers. But I knew this was no true Andalite.
Just a wonderful sentence. Just like the Andalite prince who had given us her power.
Dread,
That's poetry.
dread washed over me. Dread too strong for even my cat brain to ignore. This was no true Andalite. This was the only Andalite body ever seized and taken over by the Yeerks. The only Andalite controller in all the galaxy.
This was Visser 3, leader of the Yeerk invasion force, the evil creature who can morph into monsters acquired from all over the universe. This was Visser 3, the creature who had murdered the Andalite prince while we cowered in terror. In case you didn't hear before, this was Visser 3, who had nearly killed us all in the hell of the Yeerk pool.
The hell of the Yeerk pool.
Welcome, Visser, Chapman said in a very humble voice. Innis 226 of the Sultniar pool submits to you.
What?
May
What?
the Kandrona
What?
shine
What?
and strengthen you.
What?
Huh?
What?
Hold on.
I will
Wait.
read it again.
No.
Wait.
Wait.
That's not necessary. That's not going to help.
Innis 226 of the
Sultniar.
Sultniar pool. Okay, I guess his name is Innis226.
May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you.
Yep.
And you, Innis226, Visser 3 said. I was shocked to hear the Visser's voice. In his Andalite body, he had no mouth. Andalites communicate telepathically, just the way I do when I'm in a morph. The second shock came from what they had said to each other. Innis226. That had to be the name of the Yeerk slug who controlled Chapman. The cat part of my brain was busy with a different question.
Where are the mice?
What the hell was that red dot in the corner? Was this apparition real? No, there was no scent at all. Only light and shadows. It was a hologram, I knew. But it was a very convincing hologram. Visser 3 seemed almost solid.
He looked around as though he could see from his holographic eyes. I prayed he wouldn't look at me. Report, Innis. Yes, Visser. Okay.
That was perfect.
Part of me just wanted to run. Even a hologram of Visser 3 makes your skin crawl. But now that he had figured out it wasn't real, the cat part of me was just bored. I realized why I could hear Visser 3. The hologram projector must not be able to transmit thought speech. It translated it into regular speech. Is there progress on locating the Andalite bandits? No, Visser, nothing yet. I knew who he meant by Andalite bandits. That was us, the Animorphs. Hey, that's the name of the series. I want them found. I want them found now. Chapman jumped back in surprise at the Visser's command. I could smell fear on him. In a calmer tone, Visser 3 went on. This cannot go on, Innis226. It cannot go on. The Council of 13 will hear of it, and they will wonder why I reported to them that all Andalite ships near this planet had been destroyed and all the Andalites killed. They will be suspicious.
They will be angry. And when the Council of 13 is angry with me, I am angry with you. Chapman was literally quivering. I smelled human sweat, and I smelled something else, something not totally human. It was very faint. Was that Yeerk itself that I was smelling? Was I smelling the Yeerk slug in Chapman's head? It seemed impossible, but there was some strange smell, something. I concentrated all my cat mind on analyzing the smell. What is that? Chapman swiveled in his chair. I looked up and froze. Chapman was staring right at me. And worse, much worse, Visser 3's stalk eyes were focused on me too. It's a cat, Chapman said nervously. An Earth species used as a pet. The humans keep them close and find comfort in them. Why is it in here? It belongs to the girl. The host's daughter. I see, Visser 3 said. Well, kill it! Kill it immediately!
Oh no!
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, that was a good spot to end.
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Oh no!
Oh no, what's
Dusty.
gonna happen?
Kill the kitty.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Seeing as there's 60 more books, I'm going to guess she makes it out okay.
She definitely does. They're definitely not dead.
Well, knowing that she's the narrator of book 46
Yeah.
kind of spoils it.
It's fine. Well, yeah, it's fine. Boy, I feel like this was more interesting than the last one.
The
This
last
feels
book?
a little.
Well, no,
Or the last
the beginning of this
Yeah.
book. Yeah, the last episode.
This feels a little less unhinged than the last time I read Animorphs with you guys.
Yeah.
Somehow.
This is less unhinged, yeah.
Yeah, considering this was not hinged at all. But
Oh yeah, the last one we read was a fucking like
Inner space.
inner space
Yeah.
situation, and they were sharks in someone's bloodstream. So
Yeah.
this is a
yeah,
lot more.
that's it.
Well,
Very
It,
much
it
not
feels more
hinged.
grounded to be like, well, I'm just in a cat on the ground in a house as a cat.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Not hinged, but still like an annoying bead curtain.
We are annoying bead curtain.
We're like halfway through.
We're about halfway through this book. So
Wow.
it definitely it's got some time to get fucking they got weirder, I think, for sure, this episode,
Yeah.
which I'm thankful for. I was a little worried because that beginning couple of chapters was kind of dull from what I had remembered Animorphs being.
Yeah, it was more interesting to read about how weird it is to be different animals, I guess, because I feel like they didn't really address that in the other book we read.
Yeah.
Because we were so far down the line.
Oh boy, yeah. I hope
I think like with the new animals, they might like dive in the detail, but then like at the last book we read, they had already done so many animals. They're like, let's just get to the Fantastic Voyage bullshit.
And even at the beginning of this book, it was just like, yeah, we're birds. We
Yeah.
fly like birds, and being a bird's fucking awesome.
And-
They were just like all into it and cool about it.
Yeah.
And this book, it was like truly scary these chapters
These
was more like, it's fucking weird to be a shrew and a cat and stuff. It's kind of weird to be a person and then an animal.
I guess in the first book she was probably like, here's what it's like to be an elephant, but in this book she was just like, I morph into an elephant, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
My tusks come out of whatever, my face, I guess. Well, Kelly, thank you for joining us to read some horrifying Animorphs.
Thank you for having me. I always leave unsettled.
Yes, good. That's what we want.
Mission accomplished.
Anything you want? Anyone listening to this? Anything you want them to know about you? Plugs.
No, I
Okay.
got a dog, so that's all I do
She
now.
looks so cute.
What if it's an Animorph? What if it's a
I mean,
person?
her one eye, they told me that she'd had like a surgery and so it leaks perpetually. Maybe that's alien goop
Gross.
and not tears.
Gross.
What's her name?
Her name is Gwen,
Oh.
which is hilarious.
I love animals with humans.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
So like that was what the shelter. That's how she came. She was already named Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
If it were up to me, I would have called her like Jeremy or something. So like, you know, she was gonna get a human name. That was no unquestioned. So it already come with one. Perfect. And like, you know, if you want to be fancy, you call her Gwenjamin or Gwenjamin.
I love it. I'm definitely calling her Gwenjamin when I meet her.
Please do.
Gwenifer.
I would never.
Gwenifer also.
I would never actually do this, but I do think the funniest name that you could name a cat or a dog is Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes.
I think that I would never do it, but if you had like a dog that was just named Kevin, that's so dumb.
I love it. It's so dumb.
Stupid. Oh boy. Well, if you're still listening, follow us cactusrodeo.com/podcast. Listen to the rest of Below Grade Level. Listen to the Sketchy Show. Watch Pop Sucket Theater and read my comics. We don't do a lot of it. We're all very busy, important adults with many busy things to do, but we still try and do these
Trying.
creative
Called
things.
Jobs.
Attempts.
Yeah. Yeah, like all the actors and writers are striking right now, and it's great. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't even do that as my full-time thing, and just
Yeah.
do a podcast every once in a while. Try and get the creative shit flowing. Well, yeah. Okay, join us next time. Thank you, Kelly, for reading with us, and let's find out what happens on Animorphs: The Visitor on the next Below Grade Level. Thanks for listening. We love you. Bye.
Will they say shrew again?
I hope so.
I hope
To
not.
be shrew shrew be continued.
Continued.
Be continued.
Shrewby Contintrude.
Shrewby continued.
We love you.
We love you. Bye.
Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.